West Zone Entertainment is sponsored by G Fuel. Be sure to use our code WestZone at checkout to get a 20% discount on any G Fuel product or use our link in the description below. Now, on to the video. So in order to get to Parapa Desert, we have to go through a dark, spooky cave. From the beginning of the game, all caves are unlit, so we'll have to stumble around a bit before we find our way through. As you stumble about in the dark, you're likely to start getting hurt by some unseen force. Believe it or not, that's not the ghost of your sins coming to finish you off, it's some stupid little bug-looking thing that's called a louder. I'm not certain why they have decided to attempt to mate with ankles like some type of horn dog, but they could at least buy me dinner first. Anyways, as we get through the cave, we will arrive at the Parapa Desert, which, believe it or not, is not currently infested with rappers. Now, we could go and explore the desert, but instead of heading towards an inevitable death via exposure, why don't we head to the south to check out this path that has a nice oceanside view? As we walk down this path, we will eventually find ourselves on a cliffside where we need to jump between a bunch of stone pillars. It would be a nice breather if it wasn't for these bubbles that are floating off into outer space. Now, children, remember what your mothers told you. Do not touch bubbles that are floating up to outer space, otherwise they might push you into the ocean where you will immediately drown. Because the ocean desires your blood. Mom might have had some wordy and weirdly specific advice, but she knew what she was on about. Don't trust the ocean. Anyways, we will eventually come to a small forest area that has a clearance in the middle. If we go to that clearance, we'll be brought to Stonehenge, because sure, why not? I had no idea that Hyrule was in the middle of England. I wonder if aliens built this Stonehenge too. Anyways, don't get lost enjoying the sights because we can find a pretty useful item here. The first heart container, which increases our maximum number of hearts. Oh, I guess they're no longer hearts, they're just bars. Well, at least we have 5 of them now. That makes it okay, right? No. No, it doesn't. Anyways, there's nothing else here for us, so let's leave Stonehenge behind. Don't question why it's here, both in game and in real life, because that's how you get the government to show up to your front door. Learn from my mistakes, people, and maybe you'll avoid having to have a government-sanctioned cavity search as well. Anyways, past Westy's trauma aside, let's head back to the desert. Which, is it just me, or is this desert kinda shrimpy? All I'm saying is it's leaving me a little short on dry humor. Anyways, at the very northern tippy point of the desert, you can find a palace, which is the first palace of the game. Welcome to Parappa Palace. The palaces are this game's dungeon. They are also entirely in side-scroller mode. Parappa Palace is thankfully not too complex, but will still probably wind up giving you a hard time in certain locations. Especially with these stupid wosus coming out of every butt crack in the walls. If they hit you, they take a bit of experience points on top of health, just to add insult to injury in the most literal definition I've ever seen in a game. Just like with the first game, keys are what we are looking out for in these dungeons as they help us open locked doors. Wait, I didn't mention keys in the first video? Anyways, as we make our way through the dungeon, we'll eventually run into an iron knuckle, which is kinda like the dark nut for this game. Are you telling me that we run into an overpowered enemy right at the beginning of the game? Yes, I am telling you that this game has no difficulty curve, and is more akin to a difficulty wall that you are likely to smack into because it's always just insanely difficult. Duh, I never found this game to be difficult. No one likes you. I hope you're aware of that. Anyways, iron knuckles are tough to fight against as you have to hit them where their shield is not. However, they can move their shields faster than the speed of light except at times where they decide not to. They also have way more health than an enemy you can find in the first dungeon ever should. Be sure to use your shield spell so you have a chance of not just straight up dying against them. But if you're able to beat this one in the basement of this dungeon, it should clear the way for you to grab the item of this dungeon, which is the candle. Didn't we have a candle in the first game? Why didn't we just bring that one with us? I mean, minimalism can be a great way to live your life, but there's a point where it becomes detrimental, Link! Anyways, as we make our way through the palace, we will eventually come to an odd room that has some hanging banisters. And if we move further into this room, we will be confronted with the first boss of the game, Horsehead, or Missoura, because the bosses in this game have 2 names because they're special like that. So what does BoJack Horseman here have in store for us? Well, he's got a mace that he attempts to hit us with. And that's kinda all he's got going on. How pathetic. Oh, it actually does hurt a bit. All you gotta do to defeat Horsehead is stab him in his Mazura. No, wait, swap those. Once you stab him enough times, he explodes and drops a key, which you can use to go into the statue room. This is one of those 6 statues that the prince talked about in his scroll. So let's put the crystal into the statue. If I could give a little bit of expert advice, try to make sure that you level up before you do this, because you will automatically level all the way up to the next level when you put the crystal into the statue. It's an easy way to get 2 level ups for the price of one. Gain the system, my fellow players. Anyways, that's 1 crystal down, only 5 more to go.